Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 4 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Before we get stuck into that, just got a few announcements to make. First of all, I've launched a brand new series here on my YouTube channel called The Loaders Lane to the Cheltenham 2021 Festival, where basically I've created an anti-post preview show, and every week for the next several months I'm going to be doing a video and uploading it and going through some of the Cheltenham anti-post market movers. Also as well, I'll be looking at some of the Cheltenham clues, seeing what's going on and giving you my thoughts and feelings on it all. So if you haven't seen it already, make sure you click the link to that video. It'll be in the description box below, and hopefully we'll have some anti-post winners along the way. So that's what I've got to say about that. Also as well, today was a profitable day. Now I know it would have only been a small profit, but we finally got the monkey off our back and we had a winner. We'd had a horrible time of things the last few days. We've had a few placed efforts. I remember on Sunday all 3 tips finished in second place. We had a bit of a case of seconditis, or the horses were just running out the back of the telly and were doing really disappointing, not like our form in September, where obviously we had a good spell, especially with the naps. But yeah, the start to October has been a hard one, but we finally were able to get our first winner of the board with Spanish Star. We advertised him at 4-1 last night, and in the end was a very comfortable winner. And the way the race was run just set up for him perfectly. He was drawn on the right side of the track. Like I said last night, you don't want to be towards the near side rail. I don't know why at Leicester, but a lot of the horses that have been doing well have been racing on the far side. It's something to do, I think, with how the ground drains. But yeah, Spanish Star, the way the race set up, he handled conditions, he was back down to a winning mark. The race as well, I thought, was a lot more easier compared to what he'd been running in recently. So yeah, I just think he was a nice winner today, and he definitely showed why he was well handicapped. So Spanish Star, was nice to get off there with a winner, and hopefully we can build on that tomorrow. Our disappointments though, however, did run well, but they just got touched off. We had Wise Glory finished in second place at Leicester, had every chance but just wasn't good enough on the day, bumping into an improver from the Alan King stable. I saw someone tip that up in the comments, so fair play to you if you backed that horse. Also as well, our Nap Taravara for John Gosden in the end was the one to take out the race, finished in 3rd, flying home down the outside, and was doing all his best work late on. Don't know what that horse would have to do to back it next time. Don't know if it would have to go up in trip, or would just you'd need to expect a bit more improvement to come from it, or be entered in a weak race, who knows. But he's definitely one to still be of interest of, but maybe don't get stuck into him next time out, which is probably when he'll go and win. So Taravara, yeah, was a disappointing nap there. And then our other selection, Rashik, finished in second place at Leicester, who finished in second. So it was one of those days today where if we didn't have a winner, the horses were running well, you know, they were giving us at least a run for our money, and they were there or thereabouts, but just fate didn't go their way today. But this game, it can be one of small margins, you know, and sometimes you're on the right side of it, sometimes you're on the wrong side of it. But at least we had a winner today, and we actually are up in profit slightly for today, but we still got a bit to claw back and get into profit for October, and fingers crossed this is something we can build upon now and go forward for the rest of October. So let's get into the tips for tomorrow's racing, and we're going to be starting with my Longshot, which runs in the 345 at Nottingham with a horse called Deinonychus. I think that's how you pronounce it. Awful pronunciation there, it'll be written anyway on the screen. You can currently back this horse at 14-1, and I'm going to recommend an each way selection here for Theodore Ladd, claiming free, riding for Mick Appleby. Now the key to this horse is testing ground, and also as well running at Nottingham. He's got a really good record at the track. He's won here 4 times, and despite getting on a bit now at 9 years old, I still think he's got a little bit of life left in him, and he's been running not too badly this season. He won at Haydock earlier in the year, so he's been running with credit. Now he's going to have to take on a few progressive types here tomorrow, but I've got some concerns with them regarding the ground. And I just think an old boy like this, you can't discount him off a nice low racing weight. He won at this course last year, this time of year as well, off a mark of 67. So he was only off a mark of £1 lower there. And I don't know what it is about this horse, but he just seems to run his career best efforts at Nottingham. He always puts a great shift in. And like I said, tomorrow he's going to be carrying quite a low weight in this race. And at 14 to 1, I think that's a big price. I think he'll shorten up in the day. I could see there being some support for him. And with the amount of runners in the field, there's at least eight runners in the field. If he turns up tomorrow, I think he'll be there or thereabouts coming the winner line. And Deinonychus, probably again awful pronunciation, I think he's got a good chance as my long shot tomorrow. So I just think taking all that into the balance, he's going to be there or thereabouts come post time. We then go with our nap, which runs in the 4 o'clock at Sedgefield, with a horse called Late Date for Mickey Hammond and Billy Garrity, not Barry Garrity, Billy Garrity, claiming 5. Now this horse, you can currently back it at 4 to 1 at the moment, and I think it's got a great chance in this race tomorrow. Now last time we saw it, he made his seasonal reappearance at Perth when he ran well for a long way but finished in 4th place. Now that was in a slightly warmer race, and he's dropping in class tomorrow. And the key to this horse, if you look back through the form book, is to normally catch him on his second start. Now, if you look at the form on his second start of the season, the last couple of years, he's won on both of those occasions, coming at Sedgefield, and he's now down to the mark he won off last year on his second start off 102. And with Billy Garrity claiming a handy 5 off the horse's back, that's definitely going to suit him. He's a really strong stayer. He's run at Sedgefield 3 times in his career from 6 runs, or he's won 3 times from 6 runs during his career at Sedgefield, so he obviously loves the track, and he's a horse who likes to get on with things, and that can often suit runners at Sedgefield. It can sometimes be hard to come from off the pace, especially as well if you've got a nice jumper out in front. We know he stays well, he can handle the majority of all conditions, and despite having to give away plenty of weight to his rivals tomorrow, I don't see much in here that should be able to run near his ability. He's the best horse in the race for this grade, and I think he'll be there or thereabouts, and I'll be disappointed if he doesn't win tomorrow. I'm quite keen on his chances, and if I was to have one bet tomorrow, it would be Late Date at 4 to 1 in the 4 o'clock at Sedgefield. We then go into Ludlow for the other jumps meeting there tomorrow in the 4:30, and this is going to be my extra tip. And the novices handicap chase. It looks a nice race on paper, but I thought Morning Vicar could be the play here at 5 to 1 for Nico de Boinville and Nicky Henderson, and I'm going to recommend the Dirty each way at 5 to 1. Now this horse I think could be well in off a mark of 126. Now if you look back through some of his form, he's actually won at the course twice during his career. He won here on his debut in a bumper, and then he won over here over hurdles too, so it's a track that seems to bring out the best in him. And Nicky Henderson's got a good record at Ludlow. He's got a 31% strike rate with all his runners over the last 5 seasons, and he's had 7 chase winners as well during that time, which is again at a 33% strike rate, 7 from 21 I think the record is. So he does well with his runners here. And Morning Vicar, last time we saw him, he was running in a much better race than this at Newbury, and he was going quite well, and the winner of that race was his stablemate Burbank, who is rated 142, and there were some other nice types in there like Tidal Flow and some others from some powerful yards. And I just think if he hadn't fallen that day, he would have been still there or thereabouts come the finish. Now like I said, this is a little bit more of a race lacking in depth. There are some definitely potential improvers in here, but I just think Morning Vicar, where Nicky Henderson does well, and the fact that he's still unexposed over fences, this will only be his second start tomorrow at a track he does really well at. Morning Vicar for me at 5 to 1 is definitely worth a Dirty each way play, and I think he'll go favourite come post time tomorrow, and that's going to be my extra tip there in the 4:30 at Ludlow, Morning Vicar. We then go with the next best, which runs in the 7:30 at Kempton with a horse called Tiger Crusade, 11 to 2 with bookmakers at the moment. You can currently get 4 places, and that's getting paid out with Skybet and also as well a few other firms. Now this horse, Tiger Crusade, is trained by David Simcock, and Jamie Spencer's booked for the ride. Now, the way the race could be run tomorrow could set up nicely for Tiger Crusade. There's going to be plenty of pace out wide. I imagine the likes of Card Sharp will try and force a strong early pace the way he normally likes to be ridden. There's a few other front runners on that side of the track as well, and Tiger Crusade is going to be drawn in stall 2 tomorrow, and if they go hard early, I definitely think it will be beneficial to be riding off the pace, and we know Tiger Crusade will do exactly that. He's put in some good performances this season. He won a nice handicap at Doncaster, stepped up when he finished in third place in the even warmer handicap at Ascot. Despite being favourite that day, I thought he still ran with credit, and that was a nice race for the grade. Like I said, I just think the way the race might be ridden tomorrow will definitely suit him, and he's by no name ever, who's got a good record at Kempton, and I just think, like I said, the way the race could be run tomorrow, it's going to definitely suit those coming from behind, coming off a strong pace, and Tiger Crusade for me at 11-2 off his mark of 87 could still have a little bit more to give, and I just think 11-2 with the 4 places, he's worth an each way bet there. I'd be disappointed if he wasn't finished in the first 4, and I think Tiger Crusade can get the job done for us there. So there are the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. I'll quickly just recap them. In the 3:45 at Nottingham's the Longshot with Deinonychus, I think that's how you pronounce it, 14-1 each way. That's the Longshot. The Nap then runs in the 4 o'clock at Sedgefield with Late Date, 4-1 win only bet. In the 4:30 at Ludlow we go with Morning Vicar at 5-1 each way, the Dirty each way there. And then in the 7:30 at Kempton we go the next best, which is Tiger Crusade at 11-2 each way with 4 places. So there are the 4 tips for tomorrow's racing. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos here on my YouTube channel. You can also as well follow me on Twitter as well, where my handle is at LuckyLoaders15. If you're enjoying these videos, remember to hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.